Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a program to compare tunes for similarity. It's written in Swift. We've come a fair ways, and what I want to focus on today is making sure that when you got multiple choices for inputs that we make you pick one. We got a little bit of work to do on the file input before we get there, but I'm sure we'll get moving on that today. All right, so the file, we finished the bulk of it yesterday. I'm not sure it's... I've been mulling over the threading stuff and trying to think if we can do a better job with that. But we're in a state now that it works and it's not unbearably slow or anything. But I do want to take the input file and show that. So let's run this. That'll also let me talk about the mutually exclusive thing we want to do. Okay, so file input, the mutual exclusion is I want to pick one or the other. I don't want to have both. Even the UI makes it look funny if you have both. So I really should be like this. All right, when we open a file, well, what I'd like is I'd like the name of the file and maybe just the final part of the name, you know, whatever.txt or whatever.abc in a box here showing us what we've selected. And also, when we run a parsons code, well, let's take no scan. This is the big one. All right, when we run this, it says input file, and it doesn't put the name of the file. So something's funny. All right, I guess the other thing I did between the shows yesterday and today is I changed the colors around that we're using. So I think the top had been this dark green, and maybe the middle was pink. I can't remember. Just working on the looks a little bit, trying to get myself happy. All right. So we need to make our underlying object put that path somewhere and use it here. And then we want to get that final piece of the path. I think that means we don't have enough information in our text, our file source. Okay. So it claims to publish the file name, and let's see who uses that symbol. All right. We write the file name and we check it. We set it once. So we prove if it's set, it will get written, but we don't ever set it. Okay. So it's a gap in the process, I guess. It should be set whenever you run it. Okay, and I think I want to change the name. I think let's call this the path. And then I'll reserve file name for the short piece. Okay, so one thing we're not doing is we're not keeping track of the path. Oh, delete that. Okay. So where's our success? All right. We read the string and we set the input, but we don't set the path. So let's make sure that happens. Well, okay. We must have some file source tests that we can use. Okay. We worked on these yesterday. File read URL. Also, I'm seeing something else funny. I should mention that. I believe that capital A should be a quote of some sort. Where's our no scaling file? I think maybe selected ASCII a little too. Oh, interesting. Oh, is that tune 1? No, it's 34. 34. It's an acute accent. Okay, so I would guess we are we said to read the file as ASCII. That's probably not right. We probably really need to do a Unicode. I'm not quite sure. I think they said they would make the file UTF-8. Let's check our standard. UTF, yeah. US ASCII. Okay. Yeah, so UTF-8 is the default. All right, and you can use US ASCII, but if you do, you better not put any Unicode quotes in there. Okay. Let's put that in our to-do. I'm not quite sure what's involved in that, but anyway. All right, so we did a rename. Let's make sure tests are running. Probably should have done that first. Okay. Okay, and so we would like our success case. We want to be able to take a look and make sure that the path is set. That was file source tests. And let's just do this and split. Okay, file source. All right, so file read URL, result success. Okay. All right, so input.count, and then source.path should be, well, I don't know how it's going to come out. It could come out slash wig slash blah 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 slash no scale and abc.txt. Okay, I really care that I may be willing to accept that it starts with a slash and ends with no scale and abc, but we'll run it and see. Now it's going to fail because we haven't written anything to that field. Okay. Empty is not equal to that. Okay. I don't want wake in my test, by the way. That's why I'm being a little picky there, or a little general. All right, where's this? That's failure. Here's success. Okay. Input equals body. Self dot path equals URL dot absolute string. I think that might be what we want. I think that's the one that takes out any dot dot slash dot dots and all that stuff. So let's take that. Absolute string. Well, let me read that again. Absolute string for the URL. Let's say path. Relative path. Well, path extension. See, there's last path component. We're going to need that eventually. Path. Well, let's try that absolute string. If it comes back with HTTPS or file colon slash slash slash, we'll know it's not the right choice. Yep, not the right choice. Oh, we might have to deal with the %20s. Okay. Relative string. Absolute URL gives me a URL. Let's go back up. Let's go to the object. Yes, control option. URL should be near the bottom. Well, I can do this and this. I thought I was looking at this yesterday and saw something. I mean, last path component is fine. Path is a string. Maybe that's fine. I think it's going to give us the /user/wake, etc. And notice it's even running in a simulator, so okay. Yeah, /users. Okay, so I think I'm going to make sure it starts with slash. Maybe it has more than one slash. Is that what I want to prove? I guess I don't care. It starts with slash and it ends with no scaling abc.text. I think that's a good enough assertion. Source.path.ends. Oh, come on, you have ends with, don't you? You got starts with. How do you have starts with and not ends with? Come on. Okay, let me go to string. No ends W. Okay, let's find the Swift doc. Is empty and count. Yeah. Starts with. I don't want to flip it around and do that. That's crazy. Has suffix. Yeah, let's try that. Let's pull up the file name. And I think we're gonna find we got. Oh no, it does have the spaces. Okay, well that's something. Well, let's do it this way. Extract a variable. Didn't seem to like that. Oh, come on. Okay. File equals that. Use file name here. And has suffix file name. And I guess I can do another one to assert the prefix. Okay. Good. All right. Now, the next thing I want to add, I want this to provide me the file name, which is just the no-scaling whatever.txt. And I think we can assert it here. Assert equals source.filename should be file name. Right, that shouldn't even build because we don't have a file name, right? Path. Okay, file name. And let's make sure it doesn't fill it in. I don't see how it would. Nobody references it. Okay. Build failed. Oh, how about assert equal? Okay, come build blank. Yep. Okay, and then handle result success. It should also take self.filename equals URL dot what's it, last path component. Let's. I don't know if this will have the spaces or not. I'm glad we put spaces in the name. It might be putting the %20s in, and we'll have to do a little more fiddling. But let's run the test. Good. Okay. All right. So we need to make sure file name is written to output. Or no, made sure path is saved when file is opened. Also save file name, last component of path. Okay, let's commit that. Now, path starts empty, which is fine. We want to display it. File, input, view. Okay. Yeah, here's our open file. All that stuff. But I'm also saying now I would like to, well, I would like to display well, if it exists, source dot filename dot count is greater than 0. Then we want to put the source dot filename. Okay, so I'm saying I'd like to display it, and let's run. We want file input. Okay, there's nothing there. I do this and I select. We get it. Okay. Now, how's the look on this? I don't know if I should put it in a box. Or if I should do something like this currently. I don't know if that's the right word to make me happy. Would be better in the other order. Currently. Could I just say file? Yeah, let's say file. File on that. Yeah, I guess I'll run it one time just to make myself happy. Okay, but I am happy having that. No scale.text. Okay, let's turn off input. Run should produce input file with the whole spec in there, which makes me happy. I'm thinking from the user end, we run this report and we're like, oh, what was this report on? Well, now we have the exact file name in there. Okay. That strikes me as good. Add file path to file input view. Okay, our to do. And this is input file. Okay, file should read default UTF-8. All right, this is, I don't know if I control that. Where I control that. Let's see, that's in here. So it's really the file source that's going to do it. It makes this call encoding ASCII. Let's see what our choices are here. Dot UTF-8. Okay. I don't think I have a direct test. Do I care? Well, let's run. And we know no scaling when we run the report. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Well, I'm not going to test that. I'll see if it bites me someday. It already has, right? Right. Okay. Let's go on. Okay, so now I want to get to this mutually exclusive thing. If you followed along, you realize I've tried this a couple times before and failed. And I think I know why it failed. I think I have a solution in my spike, okay, that I did offline. Just waking up in the morning going like, oh, I see what we can do. And it looked like it worked. So here's the playground. I created this thing called Picker. And we'll work on the names and the values. But what it's doing is it's maintaining a list of book bindings to booleans, and then when you say pick, it takes the current selection and turns it off, and then the thing you selected it turns on, and makes that the current selection. So this view, let's see if I can get this one right. All right. I originally tried to do this in views, and I think that was the problem, that views aren't very good at holding lists of things that are going to change. The list wasn't changing, but the things that it held was changing, and I don't know, the combination of that just kind of made it not happy. But here I'm using this picker object, content view 3. So let's see if we have that set up somewhere. Okay, let's look at content view 3. I think this will work. Oops, wrong thing. Okay. Missing arguments. Oh, okay. Current view 3. Well, content view 2. Oh, that one calls content view 3. I guess content view 2 is the one we want. Okay, so content view 2 creates, since they're at states, they're bound variables. So if I say $T1, I get the binding. And I'm passing in T1, T2, T3, and the picker for these, which takes the array of them. And all the rest of this was just to make content view 3 work. And part of this is important. Like I'm passing in this picker. If I don't do it there, if I try and do it in the constructor, it's not. It means I'm fooling with values I own, and it's just, it doesn't kind of fit the model. So let's run this with content view 3. I don't know if I just never know whether to trust this thing. Automatically run. Okay. Like, what are you thinking? I should have a little run button. Should show something in here. I don't know. If we don't get it, I'm not going to worry about it. This is kind of the freeze up we had the other day, isn't it? All right. Let's, yeah, stop that. Okay. Maybe I was interfering with it. Build succeeded, yes. Here automatically run. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to develop this class. And notice class, not struct. So it's it's not a value object. It's a object with identity. And it's mutable. That's the big thing. All right. So the things it holds, the list of values in the selection, that's definitely what we want. All right. So, and I think we'll call this a select one. Just select one, maybe. All right. So, domain, I don't know. It's this user interface is going to use it, I guess. Put it in here. Well, that's the regular. Okay. So this is select one. Swift. Okay. And then down here. I don't even have a user interface section. Are these getting run? Yeah. I'm going to put these here. Let's add a section. New group. User interface. I'm going to move this down. After transform. Okay. I'll add a new file. A test. Select one tests. For once, I'll put it in the right place. Okay. And okay. So our select one, we're going to need some variables. So let's, how do you get the binding of a variable? I can't remember now. Maybe we just declare it directly. Let's do variable t. How about b1 equals binding bind. No. Gosh. I'm sure the first demo of this will do it. No. I don't want to use a view. Oh, I can use this outside. Okay. I published. Okay. Maybe that'll be okay. Okay. So the test is has no initializers. Well, let's just start them off false. Okay. Initially sets first true and others false. Okay, so let's set B1 equals false, B2 equals true, B3 equals true. Okay, so we create selector is B select 1 with the array B1, $B1, $B2, $B3. Okay. So if we were to look at these, assert, I think I'll use equal. I don't know, I find that more helpful a lot. B1 should be true. B2, B3, these two should be false. Okay, so I create a pick one and it's going to force the first one true and the others false. Okay, and select one. Okay, and 0. All right. This is a class. Oh, and I guess I should also assert that his selection should be 0. Okay, so public class select 1. And it's got, and I think if we look in our playground, I didn't have to do anything. I'm just making simple variables. There's no, we're using bindings, but we're not saying anything about them. Okay, so back to our tests. All right, so let's do private var values is array of binding a bool. Private var selection. Let's make it var selection. Private set var selection of int. Okay, did it not find binding? Switch UI. I think I can import combine. Okay, I don't need all, I don't think, well, maybe I do. Okay. The init takes values of binding of bool. And I think let's just do values, self.values equals values. Okay, that's a start. It should not pass. Okay, cannot convert publisher bool to, wait. Cannot convert value of published bool publisher to expected element. Am I not passing the array of binding bool? Publish bool.publisher is different than binding? Let's see if we make it observable object. Is that a... I don't know if that's a protocol or an object. Well, I don't know what that means. Okay. All right. So we're letting our test be kind of the... No? What if I say B1? Is that already the wrapped value? Build succeeded. Uh-huh. Okay. Hopefully that'll catch up someday. Command sign failed. Cannot convert bool to binding a bool. I don't need that. I need state. And now I need the dollars. Okay. We don't care if it's on a... Oh, come on. Attribute state. Okay. Let's run. We should still fail because we're setting these values, but we're not setting them to the right values. So these three should fail. This should be okay. Okay. False is not true. Why did that one not fail? I would have expected all to fail. Okay. Let's do this. Values sub 0 dot wrapped value equals true. Okay, and we're touching the real flag, and that's what I want to do. So I still think this should fail the other two because they should be true. False. Okay. little lost here why that's not working. Okay, I really hate this. Like, why don't you use the one that's open? Okay, we're stopped here. Accessing state's value outside of being installed on a view. Oh, okay. I don't want to create a view. Can I just do it? I don't know if I can just write binding and be done. This is add binding. Okay. Well, what was the deal when I had observable object? We're getting messages about published not being. Let's try that. Observable objects don't have to be on views. They do this. And then they're going to complain about this $sign. Right. Can I convert pool to type binding a pool? Okay, can I get it from the value? Can I do that? No. Okay. Yeah, that's using a view. I could swear this could be done with the combined stuff. Binding constant. No. Okay, I do this. How do I reference self.model.progress. Well, maybe I need to create a little class. I don't know. I got him published, but they're accessing him through an environment object. Had to inject a view model. I don't want to create a content view. I know I've seen code to do this. That's the worst of it. A lazy var. Add observer. To bindable. I don't see any bindings going around here. I really don't want Swift UI in this. Nope, that's use again. Okay, I've got my playground. Let's see what we did there. Oh, we did views. Okay, doesn't answer the question. Bool is not convertible to binding. Yes, that's true. Okay, a combined class, bindable object, pass-through subject. Sends will change, whatever that is. Okay. That's all UI stuff again. That's not the kind of binding we need. Well, I swear. Okay, I'm gonna. Let's look for combine. No results found. That's not it. Okay. I don't know where I can find this answer. Maybe, can I create a view in a test? It seems a little weird. Okay, let's take this off. Struct test bindings is a view, and we'll give him these 3 fields as state. Okay, and so in our test, let's create, we need a body. Yes. You don't. Okay. Body, some view. Hopefully that works. Okay, so we got a view with 3 variables. Let's see if we can let view equal test bindings. View.b1 equals false. View.b2 equals true. And view.b3 equals that. All right, now we want to pass $view.b1. Or is it view.$b1? Okay. This are equal view.b1. Those should be true. Let's hope this error does not apply still. Build succeeded. Okay, let's try the test. Oh, I still got a red mark down there. Continue. Okay, hopefully it's failing for the right reason. Oh, we're still getting this. Does not set it. Golly. This is so weird. Okay, so what the error is, accessing state's value outside of being installed on a view. Can I don't know how to force the view to do what it needs to do. Okay, try another search. Create a standalone binding. Decimal prep or no, that's a view issue. How's that minus switch UI? Let me switch to Google. That's a different framework. Man, that green is painful. Swift iOS MVVM. Binding is quite the overloaded word, isn't it? Taylor Swift, I don't think that's it. Value binding and switch statement. Nope. Boxing, bind. This looks old. Oh, there's binding using RX Swift. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay. That's using views. Okay, let's. Nope. That's what I want. They're getting into views. I could have sworn I've seen this done in a, I thought it was Daniel Steinberg's book on combine, and I don't know where I put that. Observable object. In my view, observed object stuff is my object. Yeah, this is kind of storage.shared.bind. No replies. Well, we get published string that we saw. Another view. Okay, we're due for a break, so let's take a break. I'll find my Kindle and see if I have that book on there and see if I can find an example. Otherwise, I'm not sure if we can test this outside our context. All right, so let's take about 4 minutes. Okay, I found a copy of that book and I'm not finding anything there that helped me. But maybe we can go we had a publish. Can we convert publisher to binding in Swift? Integrating Swift and combine. Can I get a publisher from a binding? Okay, that's sort of what we're doing. Okay, what do we got? Can I convert published bool to binding? Okay, I'm trying to make this. Accessing projected value as a publisher, you should be accessing the projected value of the observed object, which is a binding. You have global settings.tutorial view. So theoretically, dollar variable dot that. I don't know. At some point, it becomes almost comic doing this stuff back and forth. Comes from not knowing what you're doing, doesn't it? Okay, selected tests. All right, so the suggestion was make these be published. And this is an observable object. And let's just put, go back to our bools. Don't need that. Okay. Non-class cannot conform to, class bools. Wrapped values unavailable. Published. Okay. Now, what did he do? He created a global settings. I don't know if he's... Yeah, he's doing this observed object thing. Okay. I don't know. Object. Okay, now I'm passing I need to pass dollar object dot boolean. I think I can just say bools here. Okay, but then when I do this, I'm saying I want to pass dollar bools dot b1. Those three things. I hope that goes away. Cannot find view. Okay, let's do bools. I still expect it to fail. There's no existing state will not be touched. Ugh. Existing new state will be written. Oh, that's simulator stuff. Okay, maybe I'm not in trouble yet. I keep turning that off. Okay, did not get purple. Okay, good. True got set. False did not. Okay, we're on track. Ugh. Okay, now I want to do values dot skip dot first drop first one dot. Okay. All right, so we drop the first one because that one we already set. And what we're going to do is filter. Hey, I've done some reading. It's like I'm getting close in my head about what's got to go on. I think I was wrong about that importer thing. I suspect it runs on the main thread. And then I just got to make sure the other ones don't. But maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to try an experiment. All right, so let's filter where $0 dot wrapped value is true. Then we're going to, for each, set $0 dot wrapped value equals false. Okay, so but yeah, you're definitely kicking me on the right trail. I just have to get there. I bought Daniel Steinberg's making a new book on async await, so I bought that. I'm about I don't know, multiple pages in, but not quite done. He's only got a couple of chapters ready, so we'll see, and a bunch of other reading and a couple of videos. So I'm getting there. All right. So I think we've set the first value. We've taken all the others. We take the ones that are already set, so we're not resetting ones that are false already, and change them to false. And I don't know, I kind of like to do this in the other order. Okay. And I think this should pass our initial state. Okay, for all that, now we're kind of on track. I hope. All right, let's take this and work with it. Okay, so I guess I would love. Let's add an init. Init b1 equals false, b2 equals false, b3 equals false, and then b1 equals b1, and so on. Okay, and we can use that. Variables, and let's do false, true, true. And I think that should pass. Oh, did I copy? Yeah. Oh. Okay, so that. All right, now this one. So we've covered the case where you set one, you set the initial values, and now we want to changing selection updates old and new flags. Okay, so let's create this. Let's make it well, true, false, false would be fine. And we create our selector with these things, and then I want to say maybe I can just do that. Selection equals 1. Okay. And now I'll make it 2 just for variety here. All right. This one should now be false. That one should stay false, and this one should be true. Okay, and this shouldn't compile. We made setter private set. Let's just give it one. I think it's like this, right? Return. Can I just do set? I don't mind setting selection here. Okay. So, oh, I don't know how to do this with bind. I don't need to. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So, get returns selected, and that should be fine. Should build. And I can make this private. Okay. And this test should fail. Okay. Now, if selected equals new value, in other words, if we've already selected it, then we're just going to return, which I probably should. Yeah, that's okay. If it's the same as the new value return, otherwise, values sub selected dot wrapped equals false. Turn off the old one. Turn on the new one. Okay. Old value at selected gets false. Update selected. Value at new gets true. I think that should do it. What do I know? Oh, selector should be now be 2. Let's run them all. All right. Add select one object and its tests. Okay, I think this is analogous to what we had in the playground. All right, so we got the values with the binding. We got a current selection. I'm being a little more sophisticated here. I didn't really init them over here. Value selection equals false. Update the selection. Value selection equals true. That's very similar. Okay, and then this one's, we don't care about that one. Sorry, a view with bindings to these can build its own picker. Okay, well, that's worth knowing. All right, which we can do as well. All right, so I think what we want to do, and I'm not sure content views in shape for this. Let's close these others. Okay, so in our pipeline body, well, that return's a little redundant. Okay, we are creating a stack of all these. Well, I think we didn't have to pass in the fields. I don't know if we can do it here or not. I mean, what I want to do somewhere is I want to say select one of well, I think I'm going to say file input, text input. Okay. And now I'm a little puzzled myself here. Okay, so I'm somehow creating this thing that says these flags should be mutually exclusive. Okay. I mean, that should set that condition. I don't know if I need to keep it around. Well, let's say I don't. I mean, all I'm trying to do is force these flags to be in this relationship to each other that says they promise that only one of them will be active at a time. But I don't know. File input is active. No, this is the body. I don't want to do that in the body. It's really the icons that want to know this. Now, really, I'd rather just do this in the constructor. I've built these objects. Can I do that? Okay. I mean, it's not complaining here. Let's see what happens. Oops. That was tests. I don't know if I can get this thing to hold it. But, okay, something's really off. Got a very large stack of, what's it saying? Publishing changes from within view updates is not allowed. Okay. Let's stop before it soaks up my whole computer. All right, so that does not belong here. Now, I don't know if I can say select one. Selector is select one bang. And then my init. I don't know why he's not helping me. Init. Yeah, let's take that. Text is a get only property. Now, is that because I assign it here? If I take off this, does he still complain? I think he does. Right, that's all. That's the one that doesn't complain. Let's try that. Consecutive declarations. Input colon text source. Take this off. Okay, he's happy there. Now I can't assign. Okay, what if I make him... I don't know, this is something about the constructors for these guys. Oh, this is okay. All right, I don't really want any of these things. Generic struct requires conform to observable object. Well, text input source does conform, doesn't it? A source, which is a transform, which is an observable object. Generic state object. Oh, his underlying object is not. Oh, golly. Okay. I want to try passing it in. Okay, let's undo some stuff. Okay. Can I do it at the caller of this, which is our main body? Selectors of select one of okay, and if I make this thing take this selector, okay, that way it gets created, but I don't think it gets used. I mean, it doesn't get used by this, but the key thing was creating it to force those things to be unique. I hope, I believe, because it's just manipulating the flags. Oh, cannot do that. Oh. Now, what did I do in the playground? It's a class. Sorry, I don't think this struct pick one is relevant. Okay, I think only content 2. Okay, so he created the state and we passed it. Maybe it's to the view. Maybe it's that his maybe it's the fact that we don't manipulate the values at this time. They're only manipulated when somebody does a pick. I feel like I want a different object, really. Kind of what I want. This is okay. I mean, we can make it work with things, but kind of what I want is I'd like to create a constraint on these Booleans. And if I set one true, I want it to be listening and set the others false. All right, so I think the problem is this picker does not do updates, but our select one does. Select one. Select one. He sets stuff in here. Now I could require you to set it the right way at the start. That's kind of what we did before. All right, let's see if we can do this. All right, now one thing I can do is pipeline body. Okay, we know this doesn't work. I could make this a separate view, I think. I'd have to pass in the pieces. Okay, let's try that. Okay, pipeline body, and he's going to have a binding for these. Sorry, state object. He's not binding, he's observed object. Okay, and he doesn't need that. Okay, he's got to know those things. He's also got to be given. Okay, I think he's going to need to be given them. He sets them. That part's okay. He also needs a variable. Let's call it constraint is select one. And he's going to have to be given the constraint and hold it. Okay, and this should come in. Okay. Well, now we need var body of some view. And it should be all this stuff. Okay, everything there looks all right. Now, that says the constraint gets created once. All right. Now, we've got to call pipeline body. Well, let's make sure that builds. Okay, so this should be a select one of, and I guess it's these things, dollar file input dot is active, dollar text input dot is active. Do I need to pass all those others manually? I think I should. Oh, I did that wrong. That shouldn't be needed here. What do I call this? Pipeline body? No, it's It's selectors. We'll call them pipeline selectors. That should come off. Okay. Now selectors should become pipeline selectors. Now we should get complaints about our arguments. Okay. Fix that. Actually, you know, I want file input first. File input, text input, quantizer, Parsons code report, and the real deal, select one of file input dot is active, text input dot is active. Okay. And I wanted to change that order. Okay, this should build. Internal inconsistency, 5 missing from tasks. Let's do a clean. And a build. Okay, that succeeded. My theory is it's still I'm gonna clear this. My theory is this still becomes an issue. So let's see that. There it is. Still an issue. Okay. Now I'm gonna change select one tests. All right. Initially sets first true, another false. No. I would say starts with values as given. Okay. So false, true, true should still be false, true, true. Okay, B1, B2, B3, false, true, true should become false, true, true. This should now pass. Oh, should now fail because we're doing stuff. Okay. Yeah, he's jammed up. Okay, so let's take him out. We're not going to change the values. We're just going to save them. And selected. You know, I don't mind setting that manually down here. Okay, so dot selected equals 0. Okay. Now when somebody changes selection, then things get interesting. Yeah, I really do want. It's like I want to be listening to those bindings and change them myself, but I think that's going to create problems. Okay, and then what about this one? If we start with true, false, false, selection is 0, and then we set it to 2, it should become false, false, true. That should still be true. All right, this should be passing. Okay. We made select 1, only change selection when requested, not initially. Okay, I'm hoping to break this chain of updates problem. Okay, so now my hope is when we run it, we don't get a million purple complaints. That was much nicer. Okay. That doesn't work, so we don't have it quite there yet. All right. The problem is basically we don't ever call select. Okay, so we don't use selectors anymore. That should go away. All right, this should still build. Now, I don't know if I can, I think I can say tag here. Yeah, I think this should own it. So, somebody's got to tell the selector what indexes you're working with here. And I think we can tag, I don't know if you tag two things with the same number, what happens? Sets the unique value of this view. Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Let's go look at icon. Okay. On tap, transform is active.toggle. That's the thing we want to change. We want the selector to get involved now. Okay, so what I would like to do is select my own tag. How do I get the tag? The things I don't remember about this stuff. Switch to a view tag. Maybe look at an example. Okay, set the tag value. Oh, good. Okay. Picker text.tag of something. For each applies a default tag to each view using the ID parameter. Don't require apply. Okay. The for each loop iterates over flavor, extracts the string value of each enum for use as the row, uses the enum value as input to the tag modifier. The picker requires the tags to have a type that matches the selection type, which is an optional flavor. So the picker's doing the work. It doesn't tell me the answer. Don't require an explicit tag. I don't think this is going the right way for us. Flavor equals chocolate. Text chocolate, flavor not chocolate. But I'm never looking at the tag. What did it say about optional? Okay. Yeah. So, okay. I want to get the selector. I don't know. I'm not sure I have what I want. I was so happy because I had that thing working in the playground, but it's requiring you. We never got that running today. Let's try running this again. Okay, let me try turning this to manual. Are you going to work? It's always so slow. I never know if it's really working or not. I don't know if it's blocked because I'm running the app. All right, let's stop. I just don't get any confidence. My disk is going crazy, but I don't know if that's something else. Okay, well, that's thinking. I'm going to just see, like, what can I do with a binding value? Value sub 0 dot. Can I set up like an on change? Let's update. No. Projected value. Returns a binding. Well, wrapped as underlying. Custom mirror. A mirror that reflects that. Okay, let's see what that's about. Mirror reflects a value, provides information. Custom representation. This doesn't sound like quite what I expected. Dynamic dispatch done weird. No, that's really not what a reflection. Let's find this Swift doc and look for a binding. does not have mirror. Okay, custom mirror. Okay. Binding is just a struct, and yet we have it. Okay, I guess I can look for that directly. Custom reflectable. If the type has value semantics, it should be unaffected by mutations. So that's unfortunate. That's what I really wanted. I mean, what I think I want to do is I really would like to listen. I'd like to set up listeners for each one of these values. And then when I get a change, I want to trigger other changes. Now, I don't know. Okay, we're not going to do that. My playground is still not doing anything. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to quit and restart Xcode. Sorry, I see. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the idea is whatever you select one, you get the corresponding switch. And if you turn this off, none of them are selected. Okay, so here we're making our code reflect that tag. Now, how do I ask? That's where I'm confused in my content view. Well, my pipeline selector, right? I want to tag these two. Maybe I'm thinking like real old school Mac, but it used to be you could put a tag on an element, and then when you did something with that element, you would know the tag and you could pass that as an argument somewhere. Somebody must know it because it seems to be what the real picker uses. All right, so let's try tag here. Not linguistic tags, not these other things. Swift Standard Library tag. Okay, view tag. Set the underlying views. But it would be lovely if you told me how to get it. Tag. Set the tag value of this view. ID. Oh, here we go. Good question. You can't get the tag. Okay, I can get an index from the context. Yeah. mirror. Okay, unsafe bytes. Yeah, that's just not what I want to go through. I mean, I'm glad you got it, I guess, but body.getTag. Well, I don't think we really have a getTag method. Nope. It sets the unique tag value. Well, I can set them. I mean, I could certainly pass that to the icon. Give it an index. Maybe I need to give it the selector as well. Constraint. Okay. Yeah. I can tell I'm much more comfortable in the back end stuff. Yesterday's async thing didn't seem to verify that, but all right. So what I think I'm saying is icon needs more. I think it also potentially needs a selector. So it needs a var selector of type, well, let's call it constraint here again. Constraint of type select one. And it needs an index of int. Okay, so if I say init that, okay. Select one optional equals nil. And index optional equals 0. Transform is really observable transform. Okay, select one. If you don't set one, I don't want to mess with it. If you give me an index, I guess if you don't give me an index, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. And I don't need this optional. Index event, if you don't give one, I get a 0. Okay. That seems okay. Okay. Now here, I'm going to say constraint select one, constraint, and index is 0. And then this one, constraint is constraint, and the index is 0, 1. Okay, so given that, these guys take null and that. Okay. Then icon, if you select, okay, so if constraint, how about if let constraint, then we'll do something else. We don't have a constraint. We're just going to do the toggle. And now with a constraint, we want to get our index, and we're going to say constraint dot selection equals index. What's the other complaint I got there? Okay. If you have a constraint, use it. If you don't, just toggle yourself. Stream is longer. Usually I go 2.5 hours. I'm not sure what happened if it, yes, unless I looked at the clock wrong and just faded out. I don't know. All right. I start at 1 Eastern and 6 p.m. UTC. All right. So I'm not super fond of this, but I think this will get us through. All right. And not have us go down that infinite loop of updates are updating our updates kind of thing. Okay. Now I've got assumptions on text input. Text input view, no, text input source. Active, let's start him false. And we'll make file active, active true. Okay, and I don't know if that's a permanent constraint, but that's the way I want it to be. Okay, file input. If I select this, it should go away and the other one should appear. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, but it doesn't do that. What's going on? That's okay. Oh, weird, weird, weird. If I do this again, he doesn't toggle. That still works. That still works. Why are you inactive? It was so promising. Okay, let's make sure nothing's funny here. And nothing on the console. Okay, this should be selectable. This should be selectable. If I take this, then nothing should happen. And if I take this, it should swap. And if I click this again, it should be there. All right, we're going to break on this thing. So where's icon? All right, on tap. All right, so tap. Constraint.selection equals index. Okay. Should be 1. Okay. Continue. Tap this one. Let's print constraint. Index should be 1. Selected is 0. constraint is there. Opacity? It's a select one optional. Okay, let's. Oh, I'm not into the thing yet. Okay. Oops. Still text input. All right, let's do it again. File input. I'll step over. Constraint selected is 0. I think we've reset it somewhere. Maybe it's that I built constraint. This is what? Pipeline selectors. Let me try building my own constraint. I'm only reading the select one. Okay, and I want $file input dot is active, $text input dot is active. All right, and I swapped the order there. Let me swap it here. And what's going on? Self-used before all properties. Okay, so I can't make my own. So constraint is being passed in, and it's being set here. I didn't know this view would be recreated too. That doesn't seem quite right. And even if it did, all right, let me test a theory. I'm going to put another one of these in here. Okay, with index 2. My theory is we couldn't do, yeah. Okay, let's turn that off for a minute. Continue. Index out of range. Two. Oh, I didn't pass it in. Oh, this is, no, I don't want to do this. My theory is I'm setting this to 0. When I click text input, it changes the selected to 1. I almost wonder if it's throwing away this view, and then when it goes back in here and it creates a new one, this selected index is now 0, and so it won't let you tap. Zero is inactive, so it's not meeting the constraint that the selected one is the active one. Oh, okay. And he won't let me initialize this. I don't think. Is that legal? First off. Okay, and if it's not, I really want to do file input dot is active and text input dot is active. I think he's going to complain that I'm accessing self before it's built. He's not complaining. Okay, let's try passing constraint. I guess I want to stop here again. Accessing state objects, view object without installed on a view. Well, what if I try a different thing? Okay, let's undo all this. Oh wait, those are okay. Selection equals index. The problem is, okay, what if sorry, let me check this thing again. Somebody's complaining. Constraint. Yeah, I can't do this. Okay. Next idea. I'm kind of running low on time here. Okay. My next idea is my theory is constraint is being reset when views get reset. And sorry, this was select one of dollar file input dot is active. Was that not right? What's diff content view? Whoops. Content view. Text input, file input, okay. Constraint index 0, yes, yes. Drop the old gone too far here. Okay. File input is active. Okay, that looks okay. Okay. Right. So my theory is these that because the way Swift UI works, it's allowed to throw away any view at once and recreate it. And I think it's recreating it by creating a new select one, and the select one goes in and resets selection, right? Because it always sets it to 0. But I think what we want to do I think we want to make a different rule. I think and selector first true value. Selection at first true value. So in this case, the selection should be 1. Okay, because I think the underlying values are not being thrown away because they're state objects. It knows it's got to hold those. But I think we are throwing this away. So this will fail. I don't think it really ran. Thank you. Okay, equals 0, not 1. So what I'm proposing to do here is values dot index of true else 0. If there's nothing true, we'll start it at 0. No. Cannot convert bool to expected type binding a bool. Values dot map $0 dot wrapped value index of true. Okay. If we don't get one, it's 0. It actually should be an error, I think, because you really should have at least one true to start with. Okay. Now I think that'll pass the test. Let's check both these. Okay, and let's try it now. First where? Oh, I'm happy with first index, I think. Okay, whoops, there's that. Okay, now I select text input. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. What this has taught me, and I don't know if we're going to do it or not, but what I really want something that listens to a set of flags and updates and sets others false when one becomes true. I don't know if I can get that. All right, but I will take this. Make sure tests are still running. I don't think I changed anything that could affect them. All right. And enforce mutual exclusion of input sources. Okay, and then I think I want to do that pipeline body. Well, let's rename this constraint. Let's call this the source constraint. Oh, that's not going to work, huh? Really? Okay. Source constraint. That one I can keep the word constraint there because I think I approve of it there. All right. That should still work. Try and pay attention to the transition. I think that looks okay. All right. Good. Okay. The next constraint I'd like to do is I'd like to put a sync constraint that says you can't get rid of the only report, but really we're going to have more at some point, and then that becomes interesting. I think we'll save that for another day. So thanks for joining. We'll meet again tomorrow, Wednesday, 1 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time or 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Good to see you again, Sasha R. 172, and hope to see you again. And same for all you others. Thanks. Bye-bye.